everybody, welcome to the review channel. My name is Simon, your host, and today is about my review of The Flash Season 1 to partly Season 7. Now, we start off in, in Central City. It's about Barry Allen, and when he was 11, his mother got killed in front of him, sorta, before he was 6 blocks away. And few characters you meet after run is of course Barry Allen, who is a scientist or a CSI for the police. You also meet his a guardian father or adopted father, Joe West, who is a detective for CCPD, where Barry Allen also works. You also meet his adopted sister, since he was adopted to the West family. So the girl is Iris West. Now Barry gets his powers by being struck by lightning, and he wakes up in a coma around 9 months, and he discovers while he's meeting Iris in CC Jitters coffee shop, there that he has super speed. So he goes to a Paris airline or airport to test his powers with Harrison Wells, Cisco Ramon, and Caitlin Snow. And in the same episode, more people was hit by something called dark matter, which is a material that gave people powers, aka metahumans. Well, in one of the episodes, you also meet Captain Cold, played by Wentworth Miller, and the whole season is about Barry finding the man in the yellow, which killed his mother, and his dad is in jail because of the man in yellow, or also called the Reverse Flash. In season 2, it starts 6 months after a wormhole that happened in season 1. Um, and why did it happen? Why did it happen? It was because it was trying back in time to save his mother, but he hesitates and doesn't do it. He defeats Thorn or Reverse Flash, and he then meets Sue in later of the episodes in season 2. He also races again. He also fights Zoom. That's basically the whole goal of season 2: defeat Zoom, so he can, well, so Zoom doesn't destroy other worlds, because Zoom is from a parallel universe, also being referenced as Earth 2. Barry also time travels. This happens later in the season, of course, and he travels back in time, where in one of the episodes, in season 1, he fights against one person called Hartley Rathaway, and he uses like gloves or hand gauntlets to send out like this sonic frequency things that I don't know the word of. In season 3, well, obviously Savitar is the big focus. A little bit of Dr. Alchemy and husks, as they call it. You get introduced to Albert, I don't know. Yeah, Julian, and they fight with Savitar loads of times to try and stop him from killing Iris, because Iris and Barry is now together. This is with his suit. is without suit, or like that's how it looks like his Barry Allen, just a time remnant or time copy. In season 4, it started off with Barry saved Iris in season 3 at the end, and but he must be set in a prison because there's no prison, or like the prison has to have someone in it, and Jay Garrick already was there, who is also his doppelganger father. um and Barry has to go into the Speed Force prison for 6 months. So Kid Flash and, well, the CCPD and Cisco Ramon, or AK Vibe, has to do all this without him. And you also got the team captain Iris now. Barry returns after one episode, of course, because they need Barry Allen, of course. He's been absent for his job for long, and a samurai wanted the real Flash, not Kid Flash, Wally West. And Killer Frost was introduced in season 3, around that, and yeah, around that, and she was a villain a little bit in season 3. Then she is okay in season 4, season 5 and 6 too, and she just works a bit with Team Flash when they need her and all that. It's also her split personality to Caitlin Snow. This is when they're actually gonna fight the main villain, Devo, who can he's predict things. He's the thinker, so he's like the smartest one. But he has to switch bodies until he catches one of their teammates, because he's a Busman. A Busman is from when Barry exits Speed Force and all that stuff. So it was 12 Busmatas, and Ralph Dibny was the last one to be taken by Devo. Well, Ralph Dibny also comes back because he's in the mind of the Thinker, so get him out of Thinker's mind-ish, so then he can, or the trap, you could say, then he could come back as Ralph. But did he keep his powers? That's still not answered in yet. Don't think it will be answered either. In season 5, you get a new Wells. In season 2, you had Harry Wells, who was from Earth 2, of course. Then you had H.R. Wells in season 3, who was from Earth 19. Then you got season 4, which was Harry Wells again. And then you got in season 5 Sherlock. Well, he's Sherlock, basically. He's a master detective, as he calls himself. And we also get introduced to a new character, which you could see in small cameos in some of the episodes in season 4, aka Nora West Allen. Now, Nora West Allen, why is that so important? Why is she important? Well, for the first, she's from 30 years in the future, aka around in the year 2049. She's also the daughter of Barry Allen and Iris West Allen. Yes, in season 4, Iris and Barry got married, and she becomes Iris West Allen instead of just Iris West. And she's a speedster. She fights God Speed, which isn't actually the one from the origin comics. It's still August Hart, but he uses Velocity 9, aka the speed drug, which is a no-no. It's a no-no in the book. It's not okay to use that. Speed Force Storm never happened. Barry vanishes in the future in 2024, which was said in the news article in season 1 and all the way. and it gets pretty tough, especially when they find out that Nora was working with Reverse Flash from all the beginning, from punching Devo's satellite, which she plugged in the end of season 4, which they of course defeat. But Barry would have been dead, and they created a whole lot of meta techs and new meta humans, and one of them was Cicada, which in the future killed over hundreds of meta humans, which Nora nor Barry could not solve. Now, Nora has purple and orange reddish, orange yellowish lightning, like Barry and Iris. Iris was Flash for one episode, episode 16, season 4, Run Iris Run. Now, the end is pretty tragic. They destroy Thawne is in a prison, so he's about to be executed and all that. And then he manipulates time from Time Walton from when they meet him in the 100th episode of The Flash, episode 9, season 5, and they say Cicada in the Time Vault, where also Barry from season 2 time travels from to season 1, where Hartley is locked in Star Labs, of course. And he manipulates the timeline so he can get out, remove the Cicada dagger so he can get free. And they do that with the Mary gun, of course. And he gets loose, and well, it doesn't end well, I will say, because Thawne gets loose. They stop him a little bit, and then Nora is about to reverse flash him like he did with Cisco in season 1. But it doesn't end well, as you can see in this image, because she's about to get erased from the existence because of a new timeline. And she has to either be in the negative speed 4 so she doesn't get erased from the timeline, or she can be erased from existence and only them or someone that have encountered Nora will remember Nora, which is tragic. Season 6 is a pretty solid start in the first half. Nora is gone, it's tough for them. The crisis is December 9th. That's when it's supposed to. That's when the Flash is supposed to vanish from Crisis, which is Crisis on Infinite Earth. That's what they have been leading up to, and Barry Allen has to prepare the team before it vanishes, and he has to train. He has to train Kill Frost. He must prepare Cisco for being team leader. He must prepare everyone, including Ralph and all the others. Well, he survives Crisis because why wouldn't he, right? He won't. If he didn't survive Crisis, it would be just gone. They no more. They will probably maybe do a spin-off, but nah. So in episode 10, right after Crisis, at the end of that episode, Iris is getting kidnapped by Eva McCulloch, who's like a mirror. You could call her mirror lady or mirror mistress. I don't know how, what her name is, but she's not. She's like stronger than Mirror Master, aka Sam Scudder. So Eva made a duplicate, mirror duplicate of Iris, since Iris is in the Mirrorverse now, which is a dimension where everything is like the outside world, just the the persons that are in the mirrors. So it's not like 1 billion persons on in the earth is there already. Only people that have entered the mirrorverse will be there, unless you can open a portal and go in it, go to the mirrorverse. So she's like the big bad in the second half of season 6, and Bloodworker Ramsey Russell was the first half of season 6, and there's not really much about Iris in season 6 other than she tries to, or when she in the second half must try every way to get out, but she can't, and then she realized that Eva was actually evil and tried to get out herself, and then tried to kill Carver, aka her husband. And he has like this secret organization called Black Hole, and he hires sometimes he hired 3 or 4 assassins to hunt down Team Citizens, which is the news thing that Iris created. She created back in season 5. Now these are promotional pictures, or stills if you call that, from episode 23 of season 6, but it's titled as episode 3 of season 7, so I will count it as season 7. Season 7 stars, since it was COVID and pandemic, they couldn't film and release the 3 last episodes. What happens is she's still trapped in the mirrors and can't get out yet. So Barry and them have to find a way. And the Speed Force died back in early around after Crisis. And they had to try to find something or make an artificial Speed Force. That's where Nash Wells, the new one, who has like all, you can see basically all the Wells when they appear, like Harry, Sherlock, and even HR one time, which is pretty cool. Even Wells the Grey, and he has to sacrifice himself basically to to for the artificial Speed Force to work, or ASF for short. Now, in the newest episode that came out around 3-4 days ago, then the Barry achieved a new, like, achieved what is it called? Speed thinking. Speed thinking. And speed thinking, he was so around, and he acted like the thinker, and he found out how to get Iris out of the mirrors, but he could even get one, either Iris, or he couldn't, since Iris was longer, he could only get out her or Sing and Camilla. Well, of course he chose Iris, as you can see here, and she's now in a coma or something, and this is a parallel to one of the flashbacks where Barry's in coma and Iris touches his hand and it comes this electroshock. It's even the same clothes for Barry, and in they basically switched clothes kind of from that flashback. And well, while Barry went all full thinker on them, he he concussed Cisco, Frost or Caitlin, and Allegra. Allegra is a new one. Frost did also use Velocity X, which is like Velocity 9. And I don't like that, honestly, if I'm gonna be honest. Also, the big plot twist at the end of the episode was Harrison Wells from Earth 1. Yes, he is now alive because of Crisis AS, the artificial speed force. We don't know yet. Find out in the next episode. They are also grouping together. Chester, Caitlin, Cisco, and Allegra. Then you also got Joe West and Cecile Horton. Cecile Horton have been there since a bit in season 1, then full on from season 3. Joe West is a captain now from season 6. He was promoted in the end of season 5 right after Nora died. Now the real question is The Flash worth watching? And now I've watched the show plenty of times, and I may be biased to it or just like it a ton. I think it's worth watching. There's some seasons where it could be boring, it could be repetitive sometimes, and season 1 to 3, those were good, where he was okay, yeah, okay, I don't need so much help, but I need a bit help from Team Flash. It's not like all comic-y yet. Season 4 villain and season 5 villain they aren't so good, like Savitar or Zoom or Reverse Flash, but they still work a bit. Now, is there flaws? Of course there's flaws. There's always flaws. Honestly, I will vote this or give it a maybe an 8 or 9/9.5 out of 10, since I love this show a lot. Now, I will also thank at least 2 people plus a GC. Just Tankman, for actually he made a similar video where he actually talked about his favorite show, Hilda. I will link his channel and video down below in the description when I am able to, because that's one thing that I was actually inspired from, how he just talked about it and all that. And the Hammer X-Men era, as he likes to call himself now, he is one of the Twitter friends I met since around November 2019, November 2020, maybe, or December 2020. He's a cool guy. And also the GCs, I was in it, like Avengers Clan or Avengers GC, and the comic book GC, where a lot of people there is pretty fun to talk to about anything. So yeah, it's shout out to both the two GCs and to these people, of course. So